Hello, welcome to this week's The Story of a Poor Boy. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And, this is the last one before the Premier League is back.
Football's back!
It's back on the telly.
Real football!
And we're so excited. I can't even begin to cover how excited I am.
You know how starved I was of real football? I watched Sheffield United versus Swansea on Saturday. Fucking shite. But it was footy. It was real football that meant something.
Well, I mean, what can you say about that? So we've got Napoli to talk about. We've got a little bit of Torino to talk about. Then we're going to move on to the Premier League. We're going to move on as swiftly as we can to the Premier League because we cannot fucking wait. So we're going to cover a little bit about what Liverpool can do in the next 3 days to improve their season and before the transfer window closes. What anybody else can do around them, I guess. And then we're going to have a look at the fixtures. And then we're going to give you some predictions for the season, which come May we'll all have a good old laugh at.
Of course.
But so Liverpool won their last pre-season, well, their second to last pre-season friendly 5-0 against Napoli in Dublin. It's a very, very, very good performance from the Reds, and they look fucking raring to go.
Yeah, they look ready.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that the way pre-season works, like with Klopp teams at least, is they work on defending first, and then they work on like the passing in midfield, in midfield, and then finally they work on like finishing because you need to be like fresh for your finishing to start the season.
I didn't know that.
Well, apparently that's how it works. And they're looking quite clinical. They're looking like they're ready to score some goals in the Premier League, and it's just so ready.
so fucking ready. So we get to see Alisson in a Liverpool shirt for the first time. I'm not going to pull any punches. Wasn't absolutely the saviour of the world like we all were hoping he would be in his first Liverpool appearance, but it's a pre-season friendly. He saved what he had to deal with, and
his balls over the top.
His distribution was absolutely impeccable. There's a little bit of a concern about he comes for a couple of crosses, doesn't look completely convincing. There's a couple of shots where he rushes out and players are going round him, kind of thing, getting caught out offside. But it'll come. It's his first game back since the World Cup. It'll come. It's just pre-season rust, I would suggest. He seems to fit in very well already, and he has got a fucking belt and singing voice as well.
Oh yes, and he's gorgeous.
He is, get lost in his eyes. Honest to God, get lost in his eyes. He seems to be like all fanboying aside. He seems to be exactly what Liverpool need in terms of distribution.
Yes,
because the thing with Karius and Mignolet is, Champions League final aside, the pair of them were pretty dependable in terms of shot stopping for years. For years, they were pretty dependable in terms of shot stopping. They were good shot stoppers. Matt's pulling a face.
I closed my eyes because I knew it was coming.
But that's the thing. They were always regarded, and it was the old cliche about the pair of them is, they're a good shot stopper, but they aren't a very good goalkeeper all round. Whereas Alisson, he has that distribution that we haven't seen since Pepe Reina left, which was probably Reina's best part of his game. Other than the pen saves.
And then, like, his hands turned invisible. And we had to get rid of.
As does happen.
Yeah.
John Achterberg still gets the blame for that.
Yeah.
But I won't start on Achterberg.
No. We could fill an entire episode.
Yeah. Not a big fan.
On stuff that we just don't know about.
Yeah. To be fair, that is completely true.
It is all speculation when it comes to him.
I mean, you can understand where people get it from, I suppose, in terms of Reina was a world-class goalkeeper working with some of the coaches he worked under. It's, for example, Xavi Valero.
Yeah.
When he was at Liverpool, and then Achterberg comes in. Reina's career seems to have swan dived off the cliff. He's on a resurgence, as goalkeepers tend to do, in their late 30s, where he's now going to the AC Milan revival.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially in Italian leagues.
Yeah. They love it. It'll be one of them, Reina, where he's playing when he's 45.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Do you know what? I'd want him back. I'd want not as a player, but I'd want him back as a coach.
Yes.
I'd fucking love to see Reina come back.
I just want him around again.
Him and Allison like working together in training. It'd be fucking great to see on the website, wouldn't it?
That'd be boss.
Yeah, this is how you release it dead quick. So Liverpool, we're 2-0 up inside 10 minutes. Milner and Gini.
Gini Wijnaldum scoring away from home again.
Doesn't count as we were the home team. We were wearing our away kits of Cell shirts.
It's a nice kit though.
It is a fucking nice shirt. To be fair,
it might have sold on me. Although someone on Reddit said that the whiter you are, the more you shouldn't buy it, which I'm quite upset about that. Apparently, white people don't look good.
I can see where it comes from. To be fair, because I'm literally going through my head now, and I'm like, who looks boss in this kit?
Mane,
Keita, Sturridge, Mane, Joey Gomez.
But they just look boss. Especially Keita and Sturridge. They just like ooze just class and coolness.
That is true. To be fair, you could put fucking Keita in a bin bag and he'd look incredible.
Yeah, he'd rock it.
Yeah, this has been a very fucking homoerotic 6 minutes, opening 6 minutes. But I mean, it's a fucking great finish from Milner. It all starts from Alisson distributing the ball to Salah as well.
Yeah, it's a really good ball. After the goal goes in, there's a clip where you can see Van Dijk turning around to Alisson and pointing at him, like congratulating him for that.
Yeah, which is it's great to see, and it probably underlines how important Virgil van Dijk actually is now to the dressing room as well after 6 months. You know what I mean? He's having this kind of influence.
Yeah, just pointing us in.
Yeah,
bossed up.
Exactly, and it must be good straight away to get that recognition. I mean, Milner gets that. It's a lovely finish if he has meant it. I think he scuffed it himself. And then
that's fair.
He gets the assist for Wijnaldum's goal as well.
It's a hell of a cross.
It is a great cross, but you expect that from Milner.
You really do. It's strange how good he is at it, and he's still our fittest player. It's madness.
Well, we spoke last week about what our first 11 would be. Did either of us say James Milner? I did. Right, you said Milner. Milner probably has played his way into it, definitely, in terms of just being the fittest player we've got.
Yeah.
And at his age, that is an impressive thing to be able to say about him. Do you know what I mean? He just looks like he's 25.
It's mad.
He's 32.
Yeah.
He should be going the other way, if anything. By next year, he's a Ballon d'Or contender if he goes on this trend. I'm made up to see Milner like not just being written off. Do you know what I mean? Like he's staking his claim and he's worthy of a starting berth.
Definitely, yeah.
For the first game of the season, which is great. It's a good edit from Wijnaldum as well.
It is. Yeah. It is a good finish. Yeah. For someone who can't finish away from home.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's not as good as Mo Salah's finish, though.
It's dead not. Couldn't be more top corner. It's absolutely ridiculous.
The phrase postage stamp is just not, it's overused. You know what I mean? You see people putting it and it's like 4 or 5 yards away from the top corner and you're like, I'm sort of top corner-ish. This is the most top corner goal that has ever gone in. It's fucking stunning from Mo. It really is.
It's nice to see that his just outrageous finishes are still there.
Yeah.
Apparently he's scoring loads and loads of goals in training, and they're all different kinds of goals as well.
Which is something we noted last season from Salah. You know what I mean? He's got the ability to score goals with his head. See his goal against Bournemouth where he chips the keeper. He's got the ability to cut inside on his left foot and whip it into the top corner. See his goal against Roma. See his goal against Southampton, Everton.
Or if they're guarding against his left, he can just take him on the right and just smash it past the keeper near post, can't he?
Yeah, and I mean, he can jink through defenders
he can be a
as
poacher.
well. Exactly, like he did against Tottenham. He's got everything about him, and it'll be very interesting to see how he takes on this second season, because he is going to become the target for a lot of teams, and they are going to try and keep him quiet as.
Oh, more for them, because we've got Mane and Firmino and Keita.
This is a big season for Mane.
Yes,
I think because of that reason. Mane, I mean, Salah is still going to get 20, 30 goals this season, as far as I'm concerned. But if he carries on the trend anyway, if he has another season like he did last year, then he is by far and away the best player I've ever watched in my life. If he does that, so it's just those numbers in this day and age in the Premier League is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
but to do it 2 seasons in a row is probably a bit unrealistic of us to ask. But Mane this season, Mane, he still gets to 20 goals in all competitions last season, but his contribution looks lesser than compared to the other twos.
Less up front, I think. I think it's because he's dropping deeper now.
It's because of the stats. If you look at it in terms of numbers, and just numbers, Salah and Firmino are streets ahead of Mane.
Oh, yeah.
But in terms of overall gameplay, there's no denying the effect Sadio Mane has got on the game. And I think he'll just get a little bit more freedom this year, because we'll just see, like we did with Stoke last season, we saw Eric Peters man-marking Salah and sticking tight to him, and nearly keeping him... Well, he did keep him quiet for the game, didn't he? But that's what we're going to see, and it's up to Liverpool to involve the other players around Salah. It's
going to be interesting how... because the front three basically assisted each other last season.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really that link in midfield. That was the main problem, other than squad depth and obviously the goalkeeper. But now we've got Naby Keita in midfield. We've got that man who can link the midfield and the attack, and it's going to be interesting to see if he would particularly favour anyone. I know he's probably going to play on the left, so he'd be closer to Mane, so maybe there'll be more goals going through Mane that way, because of the midfielder that's behind him. I think it's going to be interesting to see.
I think the other thing as well is how quickly Liverpool are going to move the ball about this season.
Yes, if we thought it was quick last season, it's going to be fucking quick.
I mean, Jordan Henderson is never one to hold on to the ball longer than he needs to. He is a 2-3 touch kind of player. Fabinho is a 1 to 2 touch kind of player, and he will move that ball. He wants rid of it as second he gets it.
Got rid of Emre Can, who's a 14 touch kind of player.
It's that game intelligence that Emre Can didn't quite develop in England, and he will fucking thrive in Italy because it's the slowest league in the world. Yeah. But I can't fucking be doing with when he's in the team of the year next season or something like that.
We'll beat him in the Champions League final. We'll be fine.
I'd love that, I'd absolutely love it. But yeah,
there's your predictions this year. Done. 7-0, by the way.
7-0 in the Champions League final. There you go. Right, that's been this week's episode now. No, I mean, in terms of Fabinho, in terms of Keita, and probably we're looking at the midfield. First game, it probably is going to be Milner, maybe Henderson as the season goes on.
I reckon maybe Henderson.
Maybe Fekir. Who knows?
I know, probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. But yeah, Liverpool moving that ball quickly across the midfield to try and shift the team around. Do you know what I mean? Each time you get the ball back after moving it around, it's a different picture in front of you, and it's about changing the landscape of the play in front of you.
Yeah.
And hopefully seeing it shift so that Mane and Firmino get the space, and somehow if Salah hasn't got 3 men marking him, he'll find the space. Yeah. And Mo will find the space next season and he'll score goals. But I think it's this season you're going to see a massive improvement from Sadio Mane in terms of his numbers, because you can't realistically man mark 2 people.
No,
and you definitely can't mark 3.
Or 4. I think they can try.
Or 4. And I want to talk about the 4th, who is Xherdan Shaqiri.
Yes.
And he is the ultimate dark horse in the 4th.
He's ended up, for me at least, being much more an interesting prospect than I thought he was going to be. I thought he was in purely for squad depth for the front three.
Yeah.
Mainly for Salah cutting in on the right. But he played kind of as a false 9 on Saturday. He's been played as a 10. He's been played on the wings, and he's looked really, really good. His play is so fast. Like his first touch, so good, and his passings, like his through balls for Sturridge and that, so good.
There was a lovely bit of link up play between him, Mane, and Salah. Salah. I want to say Mane and Salah at the same time. Mane and Salah. I've just done it again. Mane and Salah. Fucking hell. This might be a cut out.
No. No. We will not.
Alright, that's fine. Okay. So, Maler and Sané, as I said, we get to see them with Shaqiri up until the 62nd minute when they both come off. So we get only a glimpse, 15 minutes. But from what we see, it's a fluid kind of strike force. Like, and I don't want to force it too much, but it's similar to what Brendan Rodgers wanted to do. It's very similar to what he tried to do in the Swansea days when he had the front three of Scott Sinclair, Leroy Leiter, and Wayne Routledge, and the three of them would just all move around, and you wouldn't really know which one you were marking. And then we sort of saw that at Liverpool to a much higher degree with Suarez, Sturridge, and Sterling. And now with those three as well, and don't get me wrong, Firmino is definitely a part of this as well, and he can do it, and we saw that last season. But Shaqiri is very similar to Mane and Salah in terms of, short player with low centre of gravity, all the cliches there. But nippy.
He has the lowest I've ever seen.
But he just has a game intelligence that I think went underappreciated at Stoke. Because
there was no Charlie Adam.
Yeah, exactly, because he was playing with Charlie Adam,
who has no general intelligence, to be honest.
Yeah, he's proved that this week, hasn't he, really? Fucking gobshite. Still the worst midfielder I've ever watched play for Liverpool. I've seen Christian Pulisic play.
His corners alone are worth 10 million.
Thanks, Alex Ferguson. Appreciate that. Fucking honest to God, prick. Yeah, but with Shaqiri, I think he is just, as you say, people were not expecting him to come in and be involved, but I think he's trying to force his way in. And it's been two halves so far for him. Do you know what I mean? I'm not for 1 minute saying he's Liverpool's player of the season, he's Liverpool's saviour or anything like that. But I just think there's something about him this year, and in the brief time we've seen him so far, you can just kind of appreciate he's a better player than people are giving him credit for.
Yes, definitely. And at 13 million is absolute steal.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Especially when 45 million, 50 million's going on wingers from Watford.
No names.
No names. Why would I name names? You mentioned them a bit earlier, but Danny Sturridge gets a goal as well.
He does.
Missed a couple of chances, should be noted. And they're two clear-cut chances that I would expect Daniel Sturridge to score every single time. But he gets the third.
It's a good finish as well.
It is a good finish. He has the keeper off, sends it back from where the keeper came from. Nothing really else you can do as a striker.
No. Nice late run into the box, or like a jog as Sturridge does now.
Used to be so much quicker.
To be fair, if he was quicker, that ball would have gone past him probably.
I mean, you don't want to see him sprint too much. Do you remember when he scored that chip against Bayern Munich last pre-season?
Yeah.
He pulled his hamstring and that was it.
Yeah.
Done. I mean, I'm allowing myself to fall in love with Daniel Sturridge all over again. Yeah. And not least not even because of the goal, but because of the overall play that we see from him. And we're saying Shaqiri is potentially an underrated prospect for Liverpool this season. Daniel Sturridge could go very under the radar for a good couple of weeks. We're making a lot of noise about him, as we tend to do with Sturridge, but it just feels somewhat different this year. I don't know why it is. I think Klopp basically has turned around and went, right, okay, well, we're just going to have to cater to you this time round, and we're just going to give you and Lallana individual training plans.
Yeah.
See how you go. And he's been crying out for it, Sturridge. Lallana's still picking up injuries left, right, and centre. I mean,
it was a sore calf, I think. I'm not sure if he's properly injured.
Be out
we'll
until
see.
Out until November now.
We'll see. Be optimistic.
I mean, you can be optimistic. You said he wasn't injury prone last week.
It's not an injury, it's a sore calf. But I have an injury. I thought it was a sore ankle, but it's a torn tendon. It's different.
Yeah, but he thought it was a sore calf. What if it's a torn calf muscle?
It's probably not.
It probably isn't, but...
He knows what injuries are. I don't. I'm an idiot.
Do you remember when Jurgen Klopp said that about Sturridge? He needs to learn what real injuries and real pain is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he's done this year. Maybe he's just kind of gone, do you know what, fuck it. If I fall apart this season, I fall apart. It's one of them. But whilst I'm talking about his overall game, is the ball to Moreno is stunning.
Yes.
From someone who is supposedly just a striker.
Well, it might be his new role. So he said on a couple of occasions now that he might be dropping down to be more of a 10, bit less running, bit more of a creative role. And if that ball to Moreno is anything to go by, Yeah, some of that, please.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. And if we see Daniel Sturridge drop off, because he did tend to do that even when he was fully fit, he tended to do that. He'd drop off and try and go look for the ball.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much a problem when you've got attacking players who are willing to...
Yeah, but when he was our only striker, it was difficult.
But when he was our only striker, and looking at the 14-15 season in particular, when Sterling didn't play...
God, that was a crap season.
It was. It wasn't actually for about... I think the middle third was like...
Yeah, that's when
didn't we go like 15 games unbeaten or something like that?
Yeah, and then we lost to United, I think.
Yeah, and ruined it. Yeah, sounds about right, yeah. But, I mean, yeah, so it's a great strike from Moreno as well.
It is. And it's nice to see him get some minutes. It's nice to see him get a goal as well.
Yeah.
Would have made the hamster running around in his head really happy.
Yeah, and, he must be really good for the dressing room, Moreno, because everyone seems to like him there. And that's nice to have players like that
class
around,
clown.
isn't it? He is the class clown. He just strikes you as it, doesn't he?
Did you see what he's done with what Milner's made him do for Yorkshire Day?
Oh, yeah.
By gum.
Fucking hell. I just wish he wouldn't speak.
I love it when he speaks. I really, really do. Unbelievable, Jeff. Unbelievable.
Fucking hell.
I'll never forget that.
Still better than Paul Konchesky.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, Liverpool, 5-0 win. Very comfortable.
Yep.
It should be said, Napoli are a good couple of weeks behind Liverpool in terms of the
it's
season
only
preparation.
their fourth pre-season game?
Yeah, fourth pre-season. But, I mean, it should be said that they've won their other three very comfortably. I mean, they're not playing against anyone particularly good, and this isn't like a normal after a World Cup year where Italy normally go quite far in the World Cup. They didn't even qualify this time around.
Yeah.
So the likes of Insigne he's starting absolutely no problems at all. I mean, you look at that starting 11. Carnes is in goal. All right, not great. He was playing for Watford last season.
Conceded a lot of goals to Liverpool, hasn't he?
He fucking did. But I mean, just to name some people who were playing against Napoli. Sorry, for Napoli against us. So Raul Albiol, Jose Callahan, Marek Hamsik, Lorenzo Insigne, as I said, Koulibaly, who's been linked with everybody, Allen, the whole midfielder, Milik, the Polish striker. So, we're not looking at... This isn't a reserve team. All right, fair enough. This is a Napoli team who were on their fourth pre-season game. But these are still good footballers, and Liverpool made them look very, very, very average.
Yeah. I think at this stage we've got to start looking at especially the game on Saturday. I think we've got to look at that as like, okay, that's our dress rehearsal for West Ham. We've got to look at like, we can't just say it's only a pre-season game. Like, playing good. The players are good.
Yeah.
Salah and Mane look hungry. Sturridge looks like he can come off the bench and change it. Same with Shaqiri. The midfield looks really energetic. The defence looks pretty sound.
Yeah, I was going to say, while we're on the defence, actually, I thought Joe Gomez was very, very good next to Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, I think he staked his claim to be possibly ahead of Matip when Matip comes back fit.
Looked very confident bringing the ball out as well, which is something that you see from Lovren quite a lot, but with Joe Gomez, it's something that he could develop into one of the best in the world at doing that.
Yeah.
And he looks confident. He looks like he's lost a ton of weight as well. He looks so slim this year. But it was nice to see him playing at centre half. I hope he kicks on this season. I hope he's, this is his chance, and I hope he takes it. It was nice seeing Alexander-Arnold back as well.
Yeah, Trent came on, which that
looked so energetic as well. So energetic.
Because he barely played at the World Cup, to be honest with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. I mean, he could have probably come back straight after England, to be fair. He's had a 3-week holiday in Russia.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. But Napoli's done with. We've got Torino tomorrow. I think Torino will probably see the same starting 11 as you saw against Napoli.
Just for a 45, though, I think.
Yeah, as I think that's probably the one that starts the season against West Ham.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. The only thing I would be a little bit disappointed about is if we saw Wijnaldum holding and we didn't see Fabinho starting.
Yeah, that's fair. But of the new signings, he does look like the one who's furthest behind. I think Klopp mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. There's one who looks very, very, very Klopp player, and there's one that looks a little bit further behind. And he's talking about Keita and Fabinho.
He basically was saying, though, that Fabinho just has never been used to playing this style of football.
Exactly, and it's going to take a while.
I mean, Milner's obviously got stitches in his head from a clash, so he might not play against Torino. I would expect Milner, being Milner, I would expect him to soldier on through for the West Ham game.
Just get some duct tape on, it'll be fine. You rip out his stitches when he takes it off, but whatever.
Just imagine it now.
I doubt he'd care.
Wouldn't be asked at all. He put up a belter fucking tweet about it the day after as well, so
of course,
which he always does. But I think it'll be nice, Liverpool back at Anfield. Neither of us are going because better things to do.
What? Are we not?
Torino.
Oh, I thought you were West Ham. Jesus, I was like, I'm fucking West Ham.
No. I mean, I am still tempted to go. There are still tickets remaining if you are in Liverpool and you fancy going, or if you're not in Liverpool and you fancy a day trip up. I mean, there are still tickets going for it. I might do. I might still go over. I don't know. See how my day is in work. But
if I go, it'd be to actually watch it. So it'd be like main stand-upper, I think.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. But Sunday, there is absolutely no question at all where I will be at 1:30.
Oh yes,
and it will be late getting to the Kop.
as is tradition.
As is tradition.
I've been on time for a long time.
I can't remember the last time I got there before You Never Walk Alone started in the league.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You aren't having fucking Roma or...
I was so proud of actually making it to both those games, though.
Yeah, you did well.
From Manchester. My God, I was knackered. I ran across Everton Park. It's a big park, and there's loads of hills.
It is completely uphill, to be fair.
So hilly.
Park, you've got a point there.
My calves are on fire. They still are.
Right, should we move on to...
No.
Should we move on from Matt Monan to... should we talk about West Ham first, or should we talk about the transfer window closing first?
We're not signing anyone. It's fine. It's done.
Why do that?
I'm sorry.
Why you do this?
I'm so excited.
Why you do this?
It's because I'm excited.
You killed me. Liverpool... Jurgen Klopp has made some interesting comments about not wanting to kill off Sky's deadline day, which, it means basically Liverpool are done.
We're not signing anyone, but I'm not going to tell you that.
Yeah. It'd be really nice. It'd be really nice. It would have happened by now, surely, with Fekir. I think the only way it happens is if Lyon get properly desperate. And that's literally the only way that Nabil Fekir will be a Liverpool player come. Well,
I don't see it. If we were going to get Fekir, we would have.
Yeah.
If we we're going to get Pulisic, we probably would have. I think Klopp has a lot of faith in Gomez, so no new centre back. It's just outgoings now. Maybe we get like a sub goalkeeper if we get rid of Mignolet and.
Don't even see that. I think he's got a lot of faith in Grabara and Kelleher.
That'd be nice. If Grabara's our number 2, I'd be happy.
He fancies himself as a very good goalkeeper. To be fair, Grabara, but obviously we've seen a bit of him in pre-season, but not much. But I think Ings realistically will be gone by the end of. Just for the fantasy team.
Just for my fantasy team.
Just for the fantasy team. Just waiting to put Danny Ings in now, just when he goes Newcastle or Crystal Palace or wherever he ends up. It'd be nice, I think, to see Divock Origi go out on loan. He needs to go for his career now, I think.
Yeah.
He can't just be hoping Liverpool give him another chance. I think he'd do a good job for someone. He just needs to get his head down and fucking kickstart. Do you know what I mean? He's only 23. There's still plenty of time for Origi to find like a home at the top level of football.
Definitely, yeah.
He'd do a very good job for a lot of Premier League teams, and he'd do a very good job in other leagues if he was played as the main man. Maybe not Germany, as he proved last season, but
they did stick him out on the wing.
Yeah. which Lille learned wasn't the best idea a couple of years ago. But yeah, what about our rivals then? Do you see anyone doing anything particularly massive?
Well, Chelsea are now apparently after Fekir, but I'm not sure if that's just like agent talk trying to get him a move to Liverpool again or what. Courtois apparently really wants to go, and they're looking at Butland as a replacement, which would be hilarious.
It really would be.
It really would be.
Kasper Schmeichel is probably sat there in Leicester just like, fuck's sake, what do I have to do?
And Danny Ward's like, fucking come on! Thought I was going to start.
Poor Danny Ward. Honestly, lad.
Arsenal seem to be done. United might make a late move for someone because
it's
in panic mode now.
Today, apparently, it's in the papers that Harry Maguire, they're willing to make him the world's most expensive defender on the back of a World Cup. I just think people didn't regard him highly enough for him to be the world's record defender. Like, with Van Dijk, every pundit was like, he'll improve Liverpool to no end at all. And then we've got, like, Alderweireld would improve United. Sounds fair enough. But Harry Maguire comes in, he's good. But
I think it's the fact that he's still relatively young and he's got some room for improvement, whereas Alderweireld is he's 28, 29.
Yeah, I think he's about to turn 30.
Yeah.
So I understand that, and he's only got a year left on his contract as well. But if I was Mourinho, well, if I was Man United, because Mourinho will be gone by then, but I'd be looking at Alderweireld in January.
Well, Mourinho wants Alderweireld. The board don't.
Yeah.
The board want Maguire.
But this is what I was saying last week about, you know, the legacy that Ferguson left behind, and the legacy Ferguson left behind is he'll sign young players.
Yeah.
He very rarely signed the finished article. There are a couple of instances of him doing that. So, for example, Van Persie, Berbatov, Van Nistelrooy wasn't exactly, you know, a baby when he signed them. So, but he had a track record of signing players he could develop. I just can't see Mourinho doing it at all this season.
Yeah.
Which is why I'd be surprised if they get Harry Maguire, but Alderweireld I could see. It depends how serious United are about keeping Mourinho at the end of the day. But who else do they get?
Yeah, this is true. Well, Zidane's out of a job.
Zidane wouldn't go there.
No?
No.
Well, we'll see. It's on record now.
Zidane would not go near Man United, and the reason why is it's too difficult a job. If Jose Mourinho likes to walk in and, you know, all the tools are there and he can lash his checkbook at it, and therefore we can, you know, he can go on about winning everything like he's done countless times. He's done it at Chelsea, he's done it at Inter, he's done it at Real Madrid, done it at Chelsea again. Zidane walked into Madrid when they had one of the best squads that they've had in decades, which is saying something, you know, compared to the Galacticos as well. And Zidane won 4 Champions Leagues on the bounce? Three Champions Leagues on the bounce. And he has done very little to that squad. Do you know what I mean? It's basically the same squad, and that's probably the problem with it. And that's why Zidane's turned around and walked away from it now.
He knows he can't get it any better.
Because he can't make it any better, and he knows it's about to start falling apart, and he doesn't want to get blamed for it. He probably wants to be remembered for the Champions League wins.
That's what Ferguson did when he left.
It is.
He couldn't be asked to rebuild it again. It's like,
I'm
not doing this again.
It's normally what Mourinho does as well, and that's why I don't think Zidane's going near it.
Nah, fair.
And you know, I don't know who they're getting. You know, Ancelotti's just gone to Napoli. He's not going to want to go to United. So I'm just trying to think of the usual suspects really who'd go there.
Pochettino's always linked.
I think he holds out for them. I think he holds out for the Madrid job or not. To be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, back to the point. United might do something between now and the end of the season, at the end of the transfer window. City are done. Spurs haven't done fucking anything.
New contracts and new signings.
Look, keeping that team together is good because I thought at least one of them would be off. Like, that is an achievement in itself. But while we've improved, Chelsea have improved, Arsenal have improved,
Spurs have stayed the same.
Spurs
are relying on development rather than actual, like, bringing players
and
in and
it's
adding
really
depth.
really risky. If any of this top four that finished top four last season is going to drop out, I think it's Spurs.
I could see that. I could see that based on the World Cup.
It's risky not buying anyone, especially especially with all the World Cup players coming back late, going to be knackered. But then, like, the one player that they're consistently linked with is Jack Grealish.
Mm.
That is not the signing of a team that wants to win the league.
No, it's not.
That's a signing of a Liverpool of years gone by, wanting a young player to develop, and I don't know. It's not enough for me for top four, let alone the league.
I could see that. I could see Spurs doing quite well in the cups this year, purely because
they need a fucking trophy.
I think there's a renaissance about halfway through the season where basically they find their fitness. As they're getting back a bit late, but once they find their fitness, and we're talking about maybe mid-October, November, and then it's decent tilt at the League Cup there. After Christmas, they could foreseeably do something in the FA Cup. I fancy them to do something this year in the cups, but I agree. I don't know about them for top four.
Yeah,
I've got them on my predictions for fourth. That's optimistic.
Yeah, it depends how Arsenal and Chelsea get on.
Yeah.
But they're kind of unknown quantities at the minute.
Right, fuck Spurs. Liverpool, West Ham.
Yes.
Liverpool play West Ham on Sunday, 1:30 kickoff. Premier League football is back at Anfield.
I am annoyed it's an early kickoff.
I think Jurgen Klopp will be more annoyed than you are.
Of course, yeah. Getting hot dog about 9:30 to be drunk for the bloody game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, but
I do quite like a hot dog for breakfast.
But Liverpool have looked pretty good, other than the slip up against Dortmund. Look ready to fly into this season.
Yeah, look ready. Squad's just about all fit. Starting lineup. Yeah.
I'm very excited about this going forward. Looking at West Ham's pre-season, it has to be said, West Ham lost their first pre-season game 3-2. They've since won 1-0 against Wickham, drew 2-2 against Preston, then beat Villa 3-1, Ipswich 2-1, beat Mainz on penalties, and then beat Angers 1-0. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Angers.
I'll go with that.
Team. But they've had a decent pre-season themselves. There's only one.
And Arnautovic has had a really good pre-season.
Arnautovic has had a very good pre-season. Felipe Anderson seems to have gelled pretty well as well. Yarmolenko. I feel like I've spoken about West Ham every week purely because it's our first game.
You're a closet hammer as well.
I am a closet West Ham fan. No, I think you underestimate West Ham at your peril. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp won't. But I think a lot of people who were just expecting Liverpool to turn up and get the 3 points and do the business are going to be in for a bit of a shock if Liverpool go in with that attitude too.
True. But I think they might be in for a bit of a shock with how fast we're going to start as well.
Yeah.
They probably won't have played a team like that during pre-season. A lot of the new players will not have played this Liverpool team before. It's going to be interesting.
The one thing I would say about this game is it doesn't end 0-0.
No.
And I could see it either being a close, like a proper slug of a match where you're just like, it's 2-2 or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's just each team trading blows, or Liverpool just completely blow West Ham away at the start of the game. And this is one of those games where Liverpool could go into this and just be like, oh, we'll come away from a 2-2 draw. And it's not ideal. It'll probably look like a decent point some point in the season, but that's not what you want if you win the league.
Yeah, I think the first few games are very, very important as a statement of intent goes. Yeah. We've got to put down a marker. We've got to throw down a gauntlet. All them cliches.
Yeah.
We've got to show City that we can go toe to toe and that we're fitter than them.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got too much for them. I do think we got too much for them, even with them being just a weird unknown quantity with loads of new players. I think we got it in us to like give them a 30-minute, just like completely blow them away. Hopefully from the beginning, might be like one 15 minutes in the first half, 1 15 minutes in the
Yeah,
second
we
half.
love that. We love doing that, don't we?
Yeah.
It's normally just as the second half, the first half is finished and the second half starts, and Liverpool just love to blow teams away. I'm thinking classically of Arsenal first game of the season a couple of years ago,
Yep.
where there was just what was it? They went 1-0 up,
Yeah.
and then we just absolutely obliterated them. We're steamed 4-1 ahead, and then had a little bit of a crumble, but still win 4-3. And I don't see that kind of thing happening, but I see Liverpool. Liverpool could walk away from this game 4-0, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, Liverpool mean business this season," or Liverpool could be like, 2-2 draw. I think whatever happens, if Liverpool don't dropping points in this game, is not the end of the world in terms of finishing in the top 4.
No.
And it's the first game of the season, you want to lay down a marker, and over the course of a season other teams around us will drop points against West Ham and teams like that. The West Ham have too much quality now to go and to do that, do you know what I mean, to not go and bloody the nose of somebody above them. And you know, their net spenders are higher than ours since Klopp's been in charge. But it's a lot of not pressure, but you know, there's a lot there now for Pellegrini to deal with, and Pellegrini now, you know, they need results. You know, expectations probably the better word for West Ham, because you know they got the new stadium, they were promised the players who've now sort of arrived. We're looking at a point now where West Ham will want to be showing what they can do in the first game of the season. Yeah, they'll be
properly looking up the table.
Yeah, and this is the kind of game where they lay down a marker again, and they can be like, well, yeah, we mean business this season. We're going to finish 5th, 6th. Do you know what I mean? It's not beyond the realms of possibility, and I think that we are the ideal scout for someone. Now, we've had widely regarded as the best transfer window out of the top 6, and we are very, very targetable right now. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, well, there's a reason it got moved to be on telly.
Yeah.
From a neutral standpoint, it looks like it's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, it will be. It will be, and it'll be one of those games where it's like, oh, the Premier League is back. And, you know, looking at...
And there'll be a big tackle from Milner, and someone will go, welcome to the Premier League.
Yeah. It'll be like 3-3, and they'll be like, oh, well, you know, that's what we've been missing this all summer. You said if we drop points, it's not the end of the world when it comes to finishing top 4. Is it panic stations for winning the league if we drop points here? It's not panic stations by any stretch of the imagination, because you have to remember when Chelsea, under Conte in the first season, they didn't hit the ground running.
No, true.
And it took Conte to experiment with the squad a little bit, and then they just go on this 17, 18 win streak. And that's, I mean, I'm not saying Liverpool will have to do something like that if they drop points here, but it's just to concede ground to Man City on the first weekend would be absolutely like heartbreaking to do.
It really, really would.
And especially when Man City are playing Arsenal, because I think that's a very losable game for Man City, and people won't be talking about it because it's Arsenal, and it's like, how funny is it to laugh at Arsenal? But Arsenal have a very, very good team, starting 11 going into this first game. They have. I mean, you can pull faces at me all you like, right?
I know, it's a great radio.
That front four of Ozil, Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang and Lacazette.
No, it is good.
It's fucking frightening to play against for anyone, and especially if they play decent football and decent counter-attacking style of play, then we could be seeing like Arsenal get something off City. And I'm not for 1 minute saying that anyone who drops points this weekend is out of the title race. It's the first game of the season.
Of course.
Someone massive will probably drop points this weekend. In fact, well, one of them definitely will, because Arsenal playing City. But I just think that it's imperative for us, if we want to and we've used it a couple of times, but if we want to lay down this marker and we want everyone to be like Liverpool are properly on for this year, and you can see the Guardian did this thing the other day with asking fans from each club. So I don't know what sites they were from, but the Everton one was from Blue Kipper, just to give you an idea. So they asked for their league predictions, and pretty much everyone in the Premier League, except for the Everton fans who said we weren't even finishing top four, said Liverpool will either win the league or finish second.
Yeah.
And the bookies have us to win the league or finish second.
Yep.
There's a lot of pressure applied, and Liverpool can't really be doing with putting too much pressure on themselves straight away. From the, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be the prophet of doom. I'm just trying to add a sense of realism to this and just be like, I want to get it out the way now. If Liverpool drop points this weekend, it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not.
And people can't go into this weekend just being like, Liverpool fly through this. We'll fly through Crystal Palace the week after, and then season away. Football very, very rarely works like that.
No, true. But my thinking is, we're going to have to get 90 plus. I reckon it's going to be 90 plus points to win the league this year.
I could see that.
I think it's probably because I keep saying City can't be as good as last year, and I still believe that they can't.
Your reckoning, I think, is the law of averages, basically.
Yes,
the law of averages
suggests to revert to the norm.
Yeah,
but they're still really, really good. I can see them getting 90 points. We're going to have a nigh on perfect season. To beat them. Like, if we want to win the league, we need to be really, really good, and really, really good teams don't lose at home on the first day of the season.
No, and that's a very good way of looking at it. I guess is that Liverpool, we can't be doing a top 14 now. We have spent the money. It's time for us to be a league challenging team, and this isn't going to be a one-off this season. Like, this is Liverpool this season. If Liverpool finish third, fourth, it'll be a very disappointing season, but the squad won't break up after it like it did in 13. I mean, we didn't break the squad up completely. We added to it after 13-14, but we lost the key element to it. And, we lose Suarez. We lose Sturridge, basically. Sterling's head went halfway through the season. Gerrard announced he was leaving halfway through the season. Everything just went wrong that year. 2008, 2009, we lose Xabi Alonso. And he's, you straight away, you feel it, and Glenn Johnson slots into the back as well, and all of a sudden the back four's conceding goals they weren't conceding beforehand. I am blaming Glenn Johnson for that, I fucking hate him. I think he's the worst right back Liverpool ever had. I'll include that with Phil Dagan. But that won't happen this year, do you know what I mean? Unless someone is willing to break world records for Mo Salah next summer, or for Sadio Mane, or for Roberto Firmino, or Naby Keita, that won't happen this summer.
Of course.
And it's not the end of the world if Liverpool don't win the title this season.
Yes.
Liverpool will win the title in the next 3-4 years. I'm absolutely certain of it. This squad is too good to not win things. And not win leagues.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I've just said Liverpool will win the title in 3-4 years. But it's
one of these years. It's our year.
It's one of these years. That's what we're going to extend it to now. It's not this year, it's our year. Listen, 3-4 years.
one of these years.
But it's just it's nice to be realistic about these things, and you have to. You get rival fans who are saying, there's pressure on Klopp now, he has to win things, he spent money now. The pressure's not on Klopp because...
We're just parroting what Mourinho said, aren't we?
Pep Guardiola has thrown the curve off completely. That City team is ridiculous. It's been developing its football heritage for years now, and it's at a point where Guardiola is reaping the rewards of it.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened at Barcelona. He'd reap rewards of that, and at Bayern Munich. And maybe I am saying he's a bit like Mourinho in that aspect. You know what I mean?
Bold fraud.
But I mean, you can't deny he improves players and he gets the best out of the players he's got. And last season doesn't happen without Guardiola and all of that bollocks. But he has thrown the curve off so much, and that City team has thrown the curve off so much that Liverpool spending money to try and catch up. Not try and surpass City this season, but catch up is completely feasible. Do you know what I mean? And that's a completely realistic thing. Liverpool could have done this window, and have done really. We've looked to spend money to close the gap, and maybe we are still two signings shy, do you know what I mean? Maybe we do still need a Fekir or a Pulisic, and maybe we still need, I don't know, a Harry Maguire or something like that to go alongside Van Dijk. Who knows? I mean, Joe Gomez might develop into the best young centre-half in England next year.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean? You just don't know what's going to happen. We didn't see Oxlade-Chamberlain becoming Liverpool's best midfielder last season, and that happened by fucking February. Anything can happen under this Klopp team, and I'm not for 1 minute saying I don't think Liverpool will win the league this year. I think Liverpool are as close as anybody is to beating Man City this year.
I think we are the closest. I think we are the main challenger.
That's what I mean. I think, but I don't know. I just think Liverpool this season is not going to define the Jurgen Klopp era at Liverpool. Maybe next season will. It will be heartbreaking if we don't challenge, if we don't come away with anything this year, because I feel like Jurgen Klopp's going to start, getting pressured by the media in particular. Liverpool fans aren't arsed because
the owners aren't arsed. They're back into the hilt.
We are at a point now where we have. There's a closeness between the fans and the squad, and the only people who aren't feeling this closeness are the cynics amongst us who are just like, well, you don't do that at Anfield, do you? And that kind of thing. And that's fair, and I understand that, and I've been part of that crowd myself, and that's fair. They're right to a certain point, Liverpool.
They're doing it Tuesday, to be fair.
Yeah, and I feel like that's fan pressure. That's caused them to do that, because Klopp heard, didn't he, that people weren't happy about it, and that's fair enough. If they've reached the point where they're like, right, okay, well, maybe we do need to do something a bit closer to home, but in terms of everything coming together, Man City might have the best squad, but in terms of an overall club, Liverpool at the moment just feel like a club ready to achieve something properly special.
Yeah,
and that's what we need to really be looking to start this Sunday. We need to properly be. Everyone needs to be up for it. The fans need to be up for it. The manager's always fucking up for it.
He's going to be screaming at the main stand.
James Milner's always fucking up for it. It's just everyone is just going to get behind this club and get behind what we're trying to do here. And if we don't win the league this season, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? It's fine. It'd be lovely. And it will happen at some point in my life. I know it will. I've extended from in the next 3-4 years to in the rest of my life now. So. But I think this is an ideal game to try and show what we're about. Really, I mean, West Ham have started the pre-season very well. The signings have been very impressive from them, and if Liverpool were to shoot them down as they're on the way up,
remind them where they are.
Yeah, it's a great start. I've ranted for long enough.
A while.
Yeah.
It was a nice impassioned rant, though.
It was. I could feel myself getting warm whilst I spoke about it.
Brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah. So, shall we bring back our fun segment of looking at the other games for this weekend and seeing what games we fancy and which games are shite?
Sure.
Okay, sad. So, this Friday, the
first game of the Premier League.
The first game of the Premier League is Manchester United. Who the fucking thought it? They play Leicester. That's going to be the most dull game of football you're ever going to watch.
Why is it on a Friday fucking night?
That's Friday night, and Liverpool West Ham, which could be a classic.
You could have Arsenal City.
Yeah,
you could have had Arsenal City.
Arsenal City would. I mean, in all fairness, I disagree with having Liverpool West Ham or Arsenal City on a Friday night purely because of the fan aspects of it. Do you know what I mean?
West Ham fans are going to have a nightmare getting up and back.
But imagine doing that on a Friday night. Do you know what I mean? Straight after work, you have to leave work early to get up to Liverpool. Yeah. And then you'd have to either stay over or get back down. It's exactly. A fucking nightmare. Football shouldn't be played on a Friday night, but there you go. I suppose it's better on a Friday night than on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night or a Monday night. Or any night, really.
It depends on the competition.
Yeah. Man United, Leicester, though. I mean... Yeah.
Who cares?
Fucking who gives a toss? I think it's going to be a very, very dull draw.
Hope so.
Now watch it be the best game of the weekend.
Nah.
But to run through Saturday's games then, half 12 kick-off, Newcastle-Tottenham. That is the battle of who did less business this summer. Spurs are losing at the moment.
Spurs are losing. Newcastle finally did something.
Yeah, Solomon Rondon is now a Newcastle player. Get him in your fantasy team. No, wait until Ings signs, then get him in your fantasy team.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a strange one really because Rafa could very easily get a win there. I always say Rafa. We always say Rafa, don't we? On this, we never say Newcastle. We always say Rafa could definitely do that. Rafa could definitely that's all we're asked about what Rafa's doing. But yeah, I think with Spurs being tired still,
you've got to be knackered. They've got to. Like Son's away to play in the Asian Games.
Yeah.
The only fit one in the starting 11 is probably Ericsson and maybe Davies at the back. Everyone else had really, really extended stays in the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at Spurs lost 4-1 to Girona in the last pre-season game.
Yeah, they did.
Right. So if we look at the starting 11 from this, so Michel Vorm starting goal, Lucas Moura, Nkudu, Son, Ben Davis, Serge Aurier, and the rest are kids.
Yeah.
And then on the bench, Fernando Llorente, Kyle Walker-Peters. I mean,
I can't imagine that they're going to start a lot of the England players that have just come back. But they're not going to be fully fit.
Yeah, and that's with no match football, and they're the first game of the weekend as well.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting one.
What's the thought process if you're Rafa Benitez in this then?
Go at them.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Because in my thought process in it would be if the starting 11 is Ali, Kane, coming back in, Eric Dyer coming back in, Vertonghen, Alderweireld somehow, Sanchez. I think he's injured actually, isn't he? Sanchez, Kieran Trippier, Hugo Hughes.
Yeah.
All the usual names come in for Spurs right at the starting 11. My thinking would be hold them till half time here, lads, and then second half we are fitter than these are. These haven't played a minute of football since the World Cup, and we're getting on for a month now since the World Cup finished. Do you know what I mean?
So you reckon go at them second half?
Yeah, I think Rafa's good enough. His side is probably smart enough to hold it tight at a 0-0 till half time, and then second half when those legs start going a little bit for Spurs because they haven't quite had the pre-season. Then Newcastle have just got this burst of energy.
It's very Rafa. It's very Rafa.
That's just it makes sense.
I just think first 5-10 minutes maybe you can catch them sluggish. So maybe have a go for first 5-10, then settle back for the 0-0 at half time. It's a little bit more risky, but I think they're not going to start fast, Spurs.
Imagine Spurs just fucking blow them away.
Wow. It'd be back to normal with this podcast, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
with our predictions.
Yeah. But I just think it makes all the sense in the world for Newcastle to just be methodical about this in their approach. You know what I mean? And
and to be fair, with Rafa at the helm, they will be.
Yeah, and I think we could see a very dull first half, and then Newcastle just come alive. Second half.
God, I hope so.
And Newcastle, I mean, they haven't got bags of quality, but what they have there is enough to exploit any tiredness in a back four that, most of them, as I say, haven't played for over a month now.
Yeah.
So Tottenham are dropping points.
Premier League's
first weekend. I'm so happy.
Well, you've got United down as dropping points as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
This is going great.
Yeah. So Liverpool are going to be top by the end of the weekend as far as I'm concerned.
And we're going to stay there.
Yeah, we're going to stay there. So, rest of the games, Bournemouth, Cardiff.
Who cares?
That could be a decent game, to be fair.
Maybe. I don't know about Cardiff. Like, Warnock is not a good manager in the Premier League. He's proven that on many occasions.
Yeah. Fulham, Crystal Palace is a very interesting game of football.
That will be interesting.
Yeah.
Because Fulham will stick to their guns and play proper football. Palace look good this season. They've kept all the Zaha.
It's just weird to say that about a Roy Hodgson team.
Yeah, God, it is strange. Yeah.
But I completely agree.
That will be an interesting game, and like you said, derby.
Yeah, it is, and it can go either way. I'm very, very interested to see how Ryan Sessegnon takes to the Premier League.
Yeah,
as well.
I just want to see how Fulham do in general.
Yeah.
I've got Kenny in my Premier team, so want to see how he does.
Fair enough.
Hey, he's very cheap.
I'm just looking over the Crystal Palace team that started the other day. The fact that they've still kept all the Wilfred Zaha, which you touched on then, didn't you? That's so impressive. I mean, Chelsea are linked.
Apparently Spurs got priced out. Palace wants 75 million for him.
Apparently Chelsea are willing to look at it. But I think it's only if Hazard goes.
Yeah, I was going to say, like if he signs someone like him, it can only mean Hazard's off.
Yeah, definitely. But there's a lot about Crystal Palace there. Yeah. I mean, they haven't played anyone particularly intimidating in pre-season, I have to say that. So their fixtures, I mean, I know no one's really asked about Palace, but let's do it anyway. So they played Helsingør from Denmark, Halmstad from Sweden, then Oxford United, Stevenage, Reading, Boreham Wood and Toulouse. So there's no one particularly like...
Did a little tour of the south there, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I mean, they did a tour of Brexit country. I mean, didn't lose all pre-season, has to be said. Didn't lose either in their last 6 games in the Premier League last year. Pretty impressive from them. I think Palace will probably be a bit too strong for Fulham.
Probably, but it's going to be interesting to just see how Fulham go for it. And see if that pattern will remain throughout the rest of the season. They could be this season's Blackpool, going for teams. Hopefully staying up because I do like Fulham.
Yeah.
Craven Cottage is a lovely stadium.
Well, on the flip side, we just went through who Palace played, and it's a pretty bog standard opposition to say the least. It strikes me as the kind of games you play to get confidence up because everyone's fucking scored a goal.
Yeah.
Fulham. Started at Crawley, have played Reading, Fenerbahce, Lyon, Athletic Bilbao, Fiorentina, Sampdoria and Celta Vigo.
Wow.
So they've been on a tour of Europe.
They're properly making the most of the fact that they're a Premier League team again, and we're giving the players some really nice holidays. Yeah,
they have, to be fair. But I mean, there's some interesting games in there that they must have targeted playing attack-minded teams.
Yeah,
if you will.
Exactly. And teams that are of similar quality to Premier League teams.
Yeah, I mean, you look in there, the teams there, they're probably around the level of, I'm trying to think now, trying to be, probably the Leicesters, the Watfords, the Burnleys of the Premier League. Yeah, your Evertons of the Premier League. And I think that's probably the tack that they've went with. I still think Palace will have too much for them. But
to be fair though, it could be any score.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch that one.
Huddersfield, Chelsea. Next game.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It is, because we don't really know what Chelsea are like.
We fucking do.
We saw them in the Community Shield. They didn't look very good. They switched to 4 at the back. They're playing a very high line now. Don't know if they're going to keep Courtois.
Caballero started the Community Shield.
Yeah.
And he looked very good. He looked very good, Caballero. He couldn't have done anything about either goal. Aguero is Aguero. He's dead good. He's a world-class finisher. But Chelsea in general, their play looks sloppy. They didn't cover themselves in any glory at all. As you say, back to 4 at the back, Azpilicueta at right back.
David Luiz back in the centre back.
David Luiz, he had that good season for Chelsea. I've never really rated them as a centre half in a 4.
No.
And I think that he might get found out this season.
I think,
having said that, he is in my fantasy team.
Well, he loves a free kick, doesn't he?
He does love a free kick, and he loves a goal.
Yeah, he loves a marauding run.
Yeah, and against the lesser teams, he might do pretty well.
I think this Chelsea team will score goals, but I think they're going to be leaky as well.
Yeah.
Going from such a defensive setup to such a high line, and losing a defender as well, it's going to be a weird transition for them. Huddersfield, though, I'm not sure. I've thought about this a lot, and Huddersfield are in my teams to go down this year, which I know is dead upsetting. I'm really sorry, Lexi, because you're one of the only people that listens to this, and you're a Huddersfield fan.
But Jack Grealish starts for Villa tonight against Hull. Sorry, carry on.
That Spurs probably not signing him then. But it's one thing to stay up and put in these amazing performances through sheer grit and determination on the season where you've just been promoted. It's another thing to do it again. It's going to be really, really hard. really, really hard. And to be up against a resurgent attacking Chelsea on your first game, that's going to be difficult.
You can say resurgence, and I understand to a point where you're coming from with it. But the team that started against City, so again, apologies for reading out the list, but Caballero, Azpilicueta, Rudiger, Luiz, Marcos Alonso was fucking terrible at left back the other day.
Apparently, Sarri doesn't fancy him.
He can't defend.
Start.
Can't defend it. He was great going forward because in the 5 because he wasn't defending very much.
Yeah.
But he can't defend going backwards, so it'll probably be you might see Azpilicueta play left back and then maybe Victor Moses coming at right back. But then into midfield, Cesc Fabregas, Jorginho, who if he carries on the same trend that we saw from the Community Shield, he is the most overrated player I've ever seen in my life because he was terrible. And Ross Barkley was the other midfielder. Right.
Who's still to come back in their midfield?
Can't say.
Is that it?
Bakayoko, I suppose. Willian can play there, but Danny Drinkwater came on off the bench.
Yeah, that midfield looks really weak, doesn't it?
Loftus-Cheek is... I mean, if they keep hold of Loftus-Cheek and they give him a go this season, it might be a good season for him.
I'm going to have to do my spreadsheet again.
Yeah.
Looking at squad depth of everyone.
Please do. If Matt gets on it, by the way, it gets on that spreadsheet, get on it, because it was really good last season.
I'll do it tonight.
Yeah, it was really good last season. It was checking the squad depth from everyone, and at Liverpool, very well positioned, which, to be fair, we proved to be.
Yeah, I was holding off on it because I didn't know the preferred formations of everyone because I want to include that this year. But now I kind of know Chelsea's, I kind of know Arsenal's.
Yeah,
I know everyone else's.
Chelsea's going to play 4-3-3.
Yeah.
And the three up front were Pedro, Morata, and Hudson-Odoi, youngster. So, I mean, that's a pretty strong Chelsea team, and they looked exceedingly average. Exceedingly. And alright, there's still Batshuayi to come back in, and there's still Hazard to come back in. And Giroud as well, I suppose, if he's going to get a look in. I can't see it himself. There's still Willian, if he stays, to come back in. But there's just... I mean, Tammy Abraham came off the bench for them the other day. He was at Swansea last season, and he didn't tear up any trees there. I don't see a lot about Chelsea unless they do some serious bits in the next 3 days this year, and I think Huddersfield could probably give them a good goal.
That's fair.
This weekend.
If Huddersfield are going to get anything against Chelsea this season,
this
is probably the best time to play them.
I'm very disappointed Liverpool play them when we do. We play them at the end of September.
Yeah,
and I feel like if we
might be
them
together by then,
I think it'll just be making sense to them at that point. But it'll all be making sense to us even more than it is now. So that's true. But I just think if we played them a bit earlier, and I'm literally talking about like 2-3 weeks beforehand, we'd knock 6 past them. They just don't look anywhere near as imposing as they have done maybe last season, but the year before. But I digest.
Digest.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Sticking with it.
Yeah, I am. I know it's Tiger-ness, by the way. I do know it's Tiger-ness.
I know.
Inside joke. That you went in on.
Sorry.
Watford, Brighton is the other one.
Hey, Riley.
Riley's
Sorry, dog's back.
Yeah, it was quiet this week. And now it's not. Watford, Brighton, last game. Could be interesting.
Could be. I'm interested to see how Brighton do this year. They were really quite good defensively last year, and they're in me fancy team, so I'm going to be keeping quite a close eye on them.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, that's one of those games where you just take a match of the day off if it's the last one, I think.
Yeah, probably.
And then the last one of Saturday is Wolves-Everton.
I was going to say when we get into that, because I really want to talk about that.
Okay, carry on. We've been going for an hour and 8 minutes.
I don't care. Wolves are going to batter Everton. It's going to be great. Do you not reckon?
I do reckon, to be fair.
Like, this Wolves team is just ridiculous. The signings that they've made, Everton in pre-season have looked awful.
So have Wolves.
Yeah, maybe.
So have Wolves.
Have they?
Wolves have they won their first 2 games against Bâle and Young Boys. Then they drew with Ajax, drew with Bochum, drew with Betis, drew with Stoke, lost against Derby, and they've just beaten Villarreal. Granted, there's a lot of Portugal players to come into that team. Maybe
There's a lot of Portugal players.
A lot of Portugal teams. I think they're missing just Cristiano Ronaldo, and then they've got the fucking full set. But I mean, the team that played against Villarreal does include João Moutinho, Ruben Neves, Rui Patricio. Connor Cody's getting a game for that Wolves team. It's madness.
What a guy.
Fucking madness. I think I do agree. I think they could turn Everton over. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see. Back? Are you ready?
I read an article by Peter Crouch this morning. He was talking about his predictions for all teams and that. And he talked about the friendly that he played against Wolves, and that he wanted to test out their 3 centre-backs to see if they could stack up to what a Premier League opposition would do. And he said that they're very strong. They didn't take no shit from him. And don't really fancy Tosun to cause much of a problem for their back 3. They've got Sigurdsson and Richarlison now as well, but I don't know. Like, it's Everton's defence. Still haven't really fixed that, and they've been leaking goals left, right, and centre in pre-season. They just do not look good at the back.
I find it hilarious that the one player that they've replaced in that back 4 is Leighton Baines. Like, Leighton Baines has been Everton's best player since I can remember.
He's getting very old now, though.
He is. That's the problem. Since I can remember, that's going back a long time now. But I mean, when you've got Phil Jagielka and Ashley Williams starting last season, Ashley Williams has gone on loan to Stoke. I mean, that's fair enough. Michael Keane was not good riddance.
No, I hate him so much. I don't want to see him. I fucking hate him.
That's fair, I guess.
I want to see him on the screen.
They've lost Funes Mori as well this summer as well.
Everton legend after what he did to Origi.
Ruined Divock Origi's career.
Yep.
I mean, in all fairness, I did say afterwards I didn't really have a problem with that, because if somebody else if one of ours had done it to one of theirs, I'd be fucking made up. I'd still be made up to this day. So, one of them, isn't it?
But what is football if we can't be hypocrites?
Yeah, true enough. They're meant to be getting Mina from Barcelona. He seems to be the one and only centre-half option as far as Marco Silva's as far as he's concerned.
Yeah.
That's aiming.
I've seen some links to Rojo as well.
I think Everton have rubbished them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently some people at Barca have rubbished the Mina rumours as well. So who knows?
I would be fucking over the moon if Everton have only signed 2 players this summer, because they haven't addressed anywhere near any of the issues that they have.
No, they have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
They've got Digne, and that's that is a good signing, I think.
I will be if Chelsea are genuinely looking for a goalkeeper in the last couple of days of the window, I would be fucking amazed if they don't at least contact Everton about Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, because he cost a lot of money though.
Well, he would, but I mean, he costs a lot of money, but he might be the difference between 4th and 5th.
True,
and that is a lot of money difference. And
Jack Schmeichel would be cheaper and could do that.
I don't doubt it. Schmeichel's a bit older. That
might be it.
I mean, that might be it in terms
please
of...
get Jack Butland in Chelsea, please. He's fucking shite.
I'm so glad
please
we
get
didn't
him.
fucking get him. I'm just so fucking happy he's not at Liverpool. I mean, I do think Wolves have got a good chance to do something.
I can't wait to watch
it.
it.
Fucking made up. Right, on to Sunday. And on Sunday, we have got ourselves, which we've covered.
7-0. We didn't do actual predictions, by the way, did we?
No, we didn't do actual predictions. Go on, 7-0, yeah? You're going for 7-0?
Of course.
I'm going 4-0.
Yeah, sad.
I'm going 4-0. I'm
Can you imagine if it's 7-0 opening day of the season?
I'm throwing away all of my...
I'm going straight to Pop World. And I'll see you all there.
I'm throwing away all of my, we need to be careful about this, all of my cautiousness, and I'm just going to Liverpool 4-0.
Yeah.
Liverpool going to blow them away from the start again.
Yes.
And Alisson's keeping a clean sheet.
Yes.
Southampton Burnley. could be very dull.
Could be very, very dull. Southampton apparently...
Which is why it's not on telly.
Really crap in pre-season. Burnley, they've had Europa League. Their season's already started, haven't they? So they've had Europa League qualification to try and navigate.
Struggled through against Aberdeen.
Yeah, they managed it though.
Well, I mean, say struggle through, but I mean, we struggle through numerous times in the Champions League and have good runs, so it just happens. It's not going to be a classic, is it?
I'm not sure Burnley are going to do well this year. Their squad's too thin to be able to navigate two competitions, and they're going to try because I don't think Sean Dyche knows how to not try.
I don't,
and he's going to nut some Ukrainian coach, and I can't wait.
I don't see them. I don't see them taking the Europa League as seriously as people are expecting them to, though. I know it's their
this is their one chance in Europe.
Yeah, but if having a tilt at the Europa League and finishing in the quarters, if they get that far, means they don't stay up in the Premier League, that could be disastrous for the club.
I don't think they'll be in danger of going down at all.
They haven't got much in terms of squad depth, though, and that's what I mean. We're talking about a team who are going from playing one game a week to two, maybe three in the space of 7 days. Do you know what I mean? Europa League's difficult, with Thursday fixtures in particular. I don't know. I just don't know what to expect with them, to be honest. I mean, they could prove me wrong. And one thing I will say is a lot of Europe will not be used to playing against the Sean Dyche kind of team.
It's going to be ridiculous, isn't it?
And I think
Klopp wasn't prepared.
Well, that's it. And I think there's definitely a case for them doing something this year. Fucking dog. But they've only signed 2 players, which with European football it's got to be disappointing. And I think if it comes down to it and they start the season, they don't start the season particularly well, then they might well. We might well get to a point where they're just like, fuck the Europa League, we need to stay in the Premier League.
I think as far as the this first game of the season goes, I think they'll have too much for Southampton.
That's fair enough.
Because the squad won't be thin and tired yet. They actually probably fitter because their season's already started, to be honest.
Yeah, that's always a good point as well. It's always a benefit of starting in the Europa League this early, I suppose. The last game of the weekend is Arsenal versus City. So I said to you earlier before we started recording that I fancy Arsenal to do quite well this season.
Yep.
And I stand by that. Where do you see Arsenal's season going in terms of top 4, in terms of Europe?
I think
in general?
Of Arsenal and Chelsea, I think Arsenal are more likely to challenge for top 4 than to properly still be within a shout in the last few weeks. I think they're more likely than Chelsea are. I don't see them doing as well as you think. You have them down as 3rd, didn't you?
I did have, but that was literally when I was writing down teams. I was literally doing it as fast as I could. What I meant by Arsenal, when I did have Arsenal down as 3rd, but I mean I scribbled it out straight away and put 5th. But what I mean by Arsenal 3rd is I don't see any. I only see 2 teams who are clearly better than Arsenal this season, and it's us and City. And the rest of the teams, I mean, United have got a fantastic squad, but their manager's playing fucking age-old tactics.
Yeah, but whatever we think of United and Mourinho, United will Mourinho their way to 3rd. They just will. They're shite. They won't be happy about it. No one will be happy about it. Mourinho won't be happy.
What if he leaves? What if they get rid of him?
Halfway through the season?
What if they do? They did it. I mean, they didn't do it to David Moyes, I suppose, but
give it Giggsy.
Give it Giggsy till end of season. He did do it to Moyes, sort of, didn't he? I can't even remember. I just don't know. You don't know what you're getting with Arsenal. They've got an incredible front 4, and if they can stay fit, I wouldn't be surprised to see them break back into.
Their attack wasn't the problem last season, though.
And they've made good
for defence,
but they've made decent headway in sorting that defence out. Bernd Leno's a very good goalkeeper coming from Germany.
Karius had a really good reputation coming in from Germany as well, though.
And that is true, and fair enough, point well made. But Karius did very well in the Premier League last season.
Yeah, no, he did.
And it was the Champions League final alone, really, that let him down. The semi-final, he wasn't great either, but, you know, I think Leno coming in, he's probably an improvement on an ageing Czech. You've got Lichtsteiner, bags of experience, that old cliche. You might even end up playing centre half him. Socrates coming in alongside Koscielny, and then left back. All right, Monreal's not great, but
injured apparently as well.
Is he? I mean, they might
could
end
be
up
like Kolasinac or Maitland-Niles.
Yeah, I mean, they could do Kolasinac. They could even play Lichtsteiner over there and put Bayern at right back.
Yeah.
Which, you know, and they've even gone out and signed Serrera as well, the Uruguayan defensive midfielder.
Is it enough though? Because there were holes all over that midfield and defence.
It depends entirely on how.
And if you're going to play that front four, you need to be confident in your back.
Well, we've covered this recently about this. Like, they haven't done much in terms of adding bodies. They've literally replaced outgoing players, with the exception of Lichtsteiner at right back.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean. It depends entirely on how thin they stretch themselves.
Yeah.
Across the competitions.
Do you think they go for it in Europe?
I said a couple of weeks ago I don't think they do. You said yeah because of Unai Emery's Europa League record with Sevilla in particular.
I think if it was going to be a season to win it, it was last season.
It depends entirely on how well their league campaign starts. I think if they go out on Sunday and they knock 4 past City and win that game 4-2, 4-3, then that is an incredible kickstart to that season. And I'm not saying that Arsenal are going to go on and win the league from that position. I don't think they've...
It'd be a confidence builder, though.
But yeah, exactly. It's a massive, massive confidence builder. And it's a massive throwing down the gauntlet as well. And just being like, listen, you all wrote us off this season, but here's the best team in the league. The only team to ever get 100 points. The only team who are even comparable to our invincible season. And here's us just fucking dispatching them first weekend. And I could just... I don't think they will. But if they go on to do that, who knows where the season goes for them? Do you know what I mean? Who knows? I mean, I don't think anything leads to them winning the league this season. They're too light.
Yeah.
But that front four of Özil, Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang, and Lacazette, all stay fit. There's a lot there to work with. It's one of the best attacks there is, as far as numbers goes. I mean, Mkhitaryan and Özil, you wouldn't want anyone else behind them making assists. Do you know what I mean? Behind those two strikers making assists, the pair of them love it. And they're a Royce away from having Klopp's Dortmund team. Do you know what I mean? When he left, anyway.
Yeah.
The one that was there when he left, of Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan and Royce. I mean, who knows?
They could very well beat City first game of the season. I don't think they will.
No.
Obviously, it is possible, but no.
Apparently, they look good in pre-season as well.
Yeah, and Aubameyang keeps scoring.
And we have to remember, although City look very good in the Community Shield, particularly Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva was a joy to watch in the final. But I say final, it's weird that it's a final, isn't it? It's in the Community Shield.
Yeah.
But the starting 11's missing some key names.
Yeah, exactly. If Arsenal are going to beat City this season, this is the weekend to do it.
Yeah.
Because Kevin De Bruyne has only just got back. Jesus was quite late back. I
understand what you mean. I mean, starting 11 was Bravo, Kyle Walker, who played the full 90 minutes. Fucking incredible for him to do that.
Yeah.
Because he plays full throttle, Kyle Walker. John Stones basically did as well. Laporte, Mendy, then Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, Foden, and then Riyad Mahrez, Sergio Aguero and Leroy Sané up front. I mean, they're not far off.
No, but not.
Are they? Do you know what I mean? We're looking at De
Bruyne. That's the beauty of how deep their squad is.
Yeah. I mean, on their bench, they had Brahimi Diaz, Ederson, Gabriel Jesus, Gomez, don't know who he is, Ilkay Gundogan, Vincent Kompany, and Nicholas Otamendi.
Yeah.
Fuck off, you bastards. No, and obviously De Bruyne's not there. David Silva's not there. You know this, but that's still an incredible squad, as you say. It does highlight the impressive squad depth that City have. But I agree. I think if there was a weekend, it probably would be this weekend for Arsenal.
It'd be very nice of them to do it, because I really want us to steal a march on City in the first few weeks. I really, really do.
Aguero does love playing against Arsenal. Well, he loves playing against everyone, really, doesn't he?
He does.
He's a fucking brilliant footballer. He really is. I wish fucking Hicks and Gillette pulled their fingers out all those years ago.
That'd be right. We've got to sell them now.
The start of the season, City, I mean, I don't see them dropping many points at all until they play us. So they got Arsenal.
We'll just have to see.
Arsenal, Huddersfield, Wolves, Newcastle, Fulham, Cardiff, Brighton.
There's a lot of winnable games there.
Very, very winnable games. We'll see. We will see.
Yeah, well, this City Arsenal game is going to be quite interesting. It will show us where this City team is.
Yeah.
It will show us where this Arsenal team is. See if they can go toe to toe with the top four and see if they can get in.
Yeah.
Our game and that game, most interesting of the weekend, I think. It's going to be a bloody good Sunday.
And it is, because Premier League is back. So the last thing I want to cover, last 5 minutes. So I've got some categories here that I want to ask you, basically, for your predictions for, so we can laugh at ourselves in a couple of months. So, winners.
Liverpool.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm being my guy. I don't care.
That's fair. You can be that guy. Top four?
Liverpool, City, United, Spurs. I think the only top four team that could possibly drop out is Spurs, and the only team that could possibly go in instead is Arsenal, but I don't see it happening. I just don't.
That's fair. Who gets the European place, and who wins the FA Cup and the League Cup?
Well, I mean, Arsenal.
Arsenal
will be closest.
Arsenal 5th, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And FA Cup and League Cup winners?
Oh, it's always difficult. Like, who wants to take the League Cup seriously? I don't think either us or City will be asked about the League Cup. I think Pep will want to try his best to retain the league and try and win the Champions League. So I don't think he's bothered about the League Cup at all. I think Mourinho will probably go for the League Cup. Because he loves a trophy and he wants to show the board. It's like, see, I can win trophies. Fuck you, give me money. So League Cup, I'd probably go United again.
Okay.
FA Cup, I could probably see Spurs. I know Spurs are perennial bottlers, but they have to go for it in a cup at some point. They really, really do, and they have to win one.
That's fair.
I think if they can get top four wrapped up. Like relatively well, maybe not relatively early, but if they can do better than what I predict, I think it's going to be quite close between them and Arsenal. I think they'd go for the cup. I think they could go for the FA Cup.
That's fair. 3 teams to go down.
Cardiff. I think Warnock he's proven to not be a Premier League manager. He can get you up, but he can't keep you up. And it's a Championship team. Probably Huddersfield, and it breaks my heart to say, but I don't think magic lasts that long.
Yeah.
And I can't see them sacking Wagner, like panicking or anything. They're gonna stick with him.
Yeah.
And then Newcastle.
Yeah.
I think it could be Newcastle because Ashley is not doing anything, and it's just horrible.
That's fair. That's fair. I would probably have those 3 to be fair. I'd maybe swap Huddersfield for Southampton. I just
they
think
are crap.
Yeah, Southampton are fucking shite, and they've got no more boss players for us to sell, for us to buy now. Sorry. So, who's the surprise package of the season? Then? There's an argument. I know you're going to say Wolves, right? But there's an argument
that's what
to
I'm
say.
Saying. Is Wolves? Can
surprise.
Wolves even be a surprise?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, fine. Wolves aren't a surprise.
You can't sign people who won Euro 2016 2 years ago and
be
like,
surprised.
I'm surprised they'd go footballers.
No. It's an interesting one. I think it's Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace will finish top 10.
Fit.
I think they've got a fairly decent squad throughout. They've got... I hate Roy Hodgson, but he is the manager for that kind of team.
He's a mid-table manager.
He's a mid-table manager.
I'm going West Ham. I know West Ham have signed good players, and we've just ruled out Wolves as a surprise package because of that. But I see if anyone breaks the top 6 this year, it's West Ham.
Yeah, fair.
I could see them pipping any stragglers who decide that a European place is... a European tilt is more important. For example, if Spurs decide to take the Champions League ridiculously seriously, or Arsenal do. Chelsea obviously don't have Europe this year to worry about, so that's interesting. We didn't mention that before, but should have mentioned that.
That's so crap.
Yeah,
if there's a possibility Ross Barkley could play for him, they're fucking crap.
Season of transition.
That's too many of those.
It's their term.
It is their term.
Their turn.
Disappear into the football wilderness that is 7th.
Please. Oh, fucking hell, please. Most disappointing. Who do you think is going to underachieve this season?
Everton.
Yeah.
And that is
one.
That is not just the Russell people. I think they're going to struggle.
Bottom half.
I think they're going to struggle.
Bottom half.
Maybe.
I'm saying it. Bottom half. Don't fucking care.
I could say Burnley, but I think it's because they're going to be spread too thin. I think they're going to be fine.
Marco Silva's a good manager, but he can't work miracles.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They haven't done enough
Their
this year.
defence is crap.
Yeah.
It is crap. Jordan Pickford has tiny arms.
Fine. I'm fine with Everton. I'm fully behind Everton. Who's Premier League top goal scorer this season?
Mo Salah.
Of course it is. Who's Premier League Player of the Year this season?
If we win the league, Naby Keita. Yes, I know. It's bold.
Sounds well. You said
but
Liverpool.
I think he's
going to
get a lot of assists. I think he's going to get a hell of a lot of assists.
You said Liverpool will win the league, so that means by default Naby Keita is your player of the season. That's impressive. Okay. I wouldn't disagree with most of that. To be fair, I would probably swap United and Spurs for FA and League Cup. I could see.
I think Mourinho likes getting a trophy under his belt.
Yeah, I know, but the
then that eases pressure.
The League Cup's easier, I think, for Spurs, and it falls just in and around that period where their players
get fit again.
Their players will get fit again. But the FA Cup is probably too far into the season where the fact that they haven't had a full pre-season will be taking its toll.
Possibly, yeah.
And I mean, United are in the same boat, to be fair on that. But Mourinho, he loves a trophy. He grinds them out. I could just see it swapping. I could even see Chelsea winning the FA Cup this year purely because they have such a fucking affinity with it. It doesn't seem to matter what manager's there. They just seem to just do well in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could definitely see Spurs winning the League Cup this year, though, just because they do need something. Relegation, I wouldn't disagree. I did say Southampton instead. Yeah, I probably will stick to that. Surprise package, I agree with Crystal Palace, but West Ham definitely could break the top 6.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Everton, boss shout.
Thank you.
I didn't want to pick Salah as top goal scorer.
You don't have to. I have.
I know, but
who do you want to pick instead?
It makes so much sense.
Aguero gets rotated. Kane's
knackered.
Salah's still dead good.
Fuck it. Danny Sturridge.
Nah. Mane could be an interesting one.
Aubameyang.
Yeah?
Aubameyang and Arsenal finish 5th. I mean,
that would be ridiculous.
But I mean,
what would be the odds of that?
He
My
is
God.
a fucking incredible
footballer.
He is a great finisher. He has got 2 of the best playmakers and assist makers in the world.
Stick a fiver on it, lad.
All right, fine, will do.
Story of a poor boy bets. It's back.
And player of the year, Naby Keita's a good one, but I don't think players like him get appreciated enough when it comes round to player of the year.
I think it will. If Kevin De Bruyne very nearly won it when he scored less than bloody 10 goals for some fucking stupid reason, I'm not bitter.
Yeah.
I'm not bitter. If you're unaware, listen to our quiz. I get angry. Shut up. But Keita will get more than 10 goals.
Fair enough.
Point that down now. And he's going to get loads of assists. About 40. It's going to be great.
He's also going to get about 7 red cards.
Yes, can't wait.
Fucking wait. I don't want to say De Bruyne because it's too easy, but it's probably going to be De Bruyne.
No, because we're winning the league.
If Liverpool win the league, it'll have to be a Liverpool player. And if Liverpool win the league... Do you know what? I'm going to go... If Liverpool win the league, I'm going to say Sadio Mane.
Ooh.
Because I think Mane is going to be... I said it before. I think Mane is going to be very, very, very important.
He's going to be key to this season, isn't he?
I think teams are going to try and work out Mo Salah more this season. Not saying they're going to succeed, but teams are going to look to work him out, and I think it plays into Mane's hands a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
And I think...
It's going to leave a lot of room for him to play
There
with.
will be articles floating around mid-October to November time of Sadio Mane blossoming in his new position behind the front two, and Liverpool fans have seen that happening for about a year now, since Coutinho fucked off, prick. But I think he's wearing the number 10, playing in a number 10 role, big year for Sadio Mane.
Yes, definitely.
And why not? Why not Mane?
And he's not a number 10 as you would imagine, as
Yeah.
other teams would imagine, because he is bloody lightning quick.
Yeah.
And
He can take
imagine a number
players.
10 as like an Ozil.
He can take players outside and bring them back in.
Yeah.
With his pace. He's playing with his mate in Naby Keita, who they have a great relationship. I think they play together at what's it called?
Salzburg,
that's the one. I was going to say Leipzig. That's not right. Yeah,
the other Red Bull.
Yeah. And with Firmino and Salah, there's no selfishness about that front three, other than when Salah was trying to go for the Golden Boot last year.
He did once a bit, didn't he?
That'll be gone. I just see Mane just having a fucking incredible year.
Yeah, no, it's a good shout. It is a good shout.
If he stays injury free, obviously, he's had on and off issues, hasn't he? But yeah, definitely.
You didn't ask me who's winning the Europa League, or like who's getting furthest in the Europa League or Champions League.
All right, who's winning the Europa League? Burnley.
I think. No, I think probably the better question is who
drops out of the Champions League.
Who's going to get furthest out of the English teams in the Europa League?
All right, go on then. Who's going to get furthest?
Arsenal.
Well, what was the point?
Well, I don't think they're going to win it.
All right, well...
But like the question I'm aiming towards is who is going furthest in the Champions League out of the English teams?
Well, this is the thing with the Champions League, the way the Europa League works as well, is obviously whoever finishes third in their group drops down. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, we don't know what the Champions League groups are, but, I mean...
Who could finish third in their group?
What if Spurs drop down into the Europa League? And then we've got Spurs-Arsenal in the final or something.
Oh, but then one of them wins a trophy. One of them wins a European trophy, and we went for it last year.
Semi-final.
Arsenal do not deserve a European trophy.
Yeah. Fair.
They're not a European club, and I'm not having it.
Yeah, all right, fair.
Same goes double for Spurs, because fuck them.
Yeah,
they can have a League Cup.
Who goes furthest in the Champions League?
Us.
No, I don't agree. I think City win it this year.
You think City win it?
Yeah, win it. Oof. Liverpool either win... Liverpool will either win the league or have a proper go at the Champions League again this year. And, I mean, it's possible they could do both.
I think we could do both. But I think we've got the squad now.
I think we're maybe a player short.
Champions League games did not make us suffer that much in the league last year. There was a crap draw against West Brom and Everton.
Yeah, and that's when he was in the peak of rotation as well.
Yeah, but we've got the squad to deal with it now. If our second team consists of like Sturridge and Shaqiri, rather than like Solanke and whoever else we had in midfield.
I'm not disagreeing. I think Liverpool will go far, but I just think there's no way Pep Guardiola comes out of this season without a league winners medal or a Champions League winners medal. And
he's crap at knockout Champions League games, though.
He proved that last season. He did.
He's proved it throughout his career.
You can't argue with how incredible this Man City team could be.
I will to my death. I'll die on this hill.
I will say one thing though. It's very, very possible it will be someone from England this year, purely on the basis that Madrid are on the decline. Barcelona haven't looked brilliant in Europe for years now. PSG, all right, maybe PSG are a good shout this year because they've got Neymar.
They always seem to flatter to deceive, and when they come up against a decent team, they lose.
But that was because Neymar got injured. Mbappe's had a big World Cup. He might take this year as a chance for him to overshine Neymar, if you want. And
I think people are probably going to be looking at Juventus.
Juventus is a good one because but it's for obvious reasons. Ronaldo,
of course.
But their midfield now consists of a fridge. I'm going to be very nasty about Emre Can for the rest of his career, I think.
Yeah, fuck him.
Until he wins the Ballon d'Or, which he inevitably will do.
No, and I do think that the one signing that Guardiola has made, Mahrez has been specifically with Champions League in mind. He's built that squad and he's kept it together to win the Champions League this year. It's just a matter of if he can do it. And honestly, I think we're better at knockout games than they are.
I don't disagree, but we have to come up against them. And the last time we came up against City in a final, they beat us on penalties, all right. I mean, we did them over 2 legs last year, but I just don't know. I just see City winning it this season. And what I will say is, I could definitely see a scenario where if one wins the league, the other wins the Champions League with the 2. And I'm fucking fine with that. I think Right, here's a question for you then. What would you rather Liverpool win this season? This will close because we're on an hour and 40 minutes now. So this will close the show this week. What would you prefer Liverpool to win this season?
It's a horrible question.
Premier League or Champions League?
It's Premier League. Premier League. I know the Champions League is our trophy. It is our trophy, but
I'm going to argue this
feels
next week.
This feels like a culmination. And if we can win the league, if we can win the league this year, it would be the ultimate vindication for everything that we've done in the last 3 years under Klopp.
So would the Champions League.
So would the Champions League, but also we have that added benefit of shutting everyone the fuck up about never winning the Premier League.
Do you not think it's great though that we get to just laugh at people who are like, you've never won the Premier League? Yeah, we've won 6 Champions League. It'd be incredible.
It would.
We'd be the best team in Europe.
We would.
And we were the best team in Europe last year, and we fucking deserve to win it. And if it wasn't for the fact that Sergio Ramos is a cunt and Loris Karius can't fucking catch, we'd have won the Champions League.
This is why we're winning both.
Alright, fine. So...
And we fucking are. That's a warranty guarantee.
It's a good job we haven't got FA Cup down as well, because Liverpool on for the quadruple.
Yes!
We're a bit optimistic.
We're winning the quadruple, the World Cup, the Euros, the Masters, the Tour de France, the Tour de Yorkshire. We're going to win it all.
This is the first time since I was a very, very small boy that I genuinely believe Liverpool are good enough to win the Premier League.
Yeah.
Well...
I feel like
at the start of the season.
I feel like a kid again.
Yeah, at the start of the season. Obviously, 13-14, at about fucking May, I still thought Liverpool were going to win the Premier League. But this is the first time at this stage of the season I've genuinely thought Liverpool were good enough to win the Premier League.
Yeah.
Since I was about 15, I think. So, fuck it. Why not both? At this stage of the season. See us in January when we're out the Champions League and we're sitting 7th, looking up the table.
You wash your mouth out with fucking soap.
Yeah, but when we get to that point and we turn around and go, listen, right, Sam Allardyce might have done badly at Everton, but it doesn't mean he does badly at Liverpool. Fucking kill me.
Just rip my glasses off and put my face in my hands there.
Kill me now. I digest again.
Can't deal with it. Can't deal with this. Can't deal with this. End the podcast. End it.
Right, there you go. So that's been our predictions for this season. Not the Sam Allardyce, but the Liverpool doing very well. Liverpool will hopefully be bringing home a trophy this time next May, I guess. We'll have... This time next May. That did not make sense at all, did it?
No.
This time next year, Liverpool will have won the Champions League or the
And we'll
league.
be millionaires.
And we'll be millionaires. And this podcast will have taken off, and Gareth Roberts will be retweeting my stuff instead.
A man can dream.
Yeah. So that's been this week's very long episode of The Story of a Poor Boy.
We're back!
Thank you so much for listening. Oh, one last thing I forgot to mention. The Fantasy Premier League, we've teased about the league for fucking ages. A couple of you have joined it already. The code is on our Twitter and on our Facebook. Please do join it. We like to know how many people actually fucking pay attention, I guess. And we also... Matt's very, very, very proud of his team now.
I am very proud of my team.
And you can only see it if you join the league.
Exactly.
So, I think that's a pretty good
it's a really good team now.
It is a really good team.
It took me all day at work. I did no work.
I didn't get it at first, and I said that out loud, and I was like,
They're the best ones.
Yeah, they are. They are, to be fair. Yeah, it put Karius, my wayward son, to shame. But
it really does.
Right, yeah. So if you could like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, do what you do on Reddit, follow us on Podbean, follow us on Spotify, follow us on iTunes, follow us on YouTube.
Podcast Addict.
Podcast Addict, we're on Podcast Addict. That blew my head off. That I couldn't believe
Apparently
it.
just everything on iTunes is on Podcast Addict.
I didn't sign up for that at all, but yeah, we're on Podcast Addict as well, which I know a lot of people use. I use it as well. Boss, sick, love it. And yeah, please let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about, if there's any issues other than Riley, because he's a knobhead. I apologise for the fact that I can't speak English and I said digest instead of digress.
Apologise for not getting a joke.
I did mean it, I promise. Yeah, thank you very much for listening. Love you all very much.
See you next week after our 7-0 win. Up the Reds.
Fucking Premier League's back. Yeah.